If you're thinking of becoming a doctor, at some point you're going to wonder, which medical school should I apply to? A question that I grappled with when I was applying to medical school myself. So here are 5 factors to consider to help you answer that question. So number 1 is the entry requirements. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It doesn't really matter which medical school you go to, because when you start on day 1 as a foundation year 1 doctor, carrying that on-call bleep, it's not going to matter where you went for medical school. You're all going to be in the same boat. So the most important thing is to maximize your chances of getting into medical school. Do your research, look into the GCSE requirements, look at the A-level requirements. Most universities publish their competition ratios from the previous years, and more importantly, the cut-off grades of the students who are admitted to the medicine course. So it's worth having a look at these for all the universities you're applying to. Do not apply if you haven't looked at those. And if you cannot find the answers on the website, you can always email the admissions team. They'll be more than happy to reply. So for example, in my case, I was applying with all levels rather than GCSEs. They're equivalent, but not every university would accept them. So I emailed pretty much all the universities I was thinking of applying to say, would you accept my all levels as GCSE equivalents? A few of them did say yes, but interestingly, some of them did say no. So it's worth looking into. And if you can't find answers, just email them. Okay, so number 2 is the course structure. This is very important because you want a course that's going to play to your strengths and how you learn. 4, 5, 6 years is a very long time to spend at university if you're not enjoying the course. I personally chose the traditional course at Cambridge University because at the time it made sense to me. You do all the pre-clinical learning and then you move on to clinical learning and then apply that knowledge. And there's a lot of different course structures out there, problem-based learning, case-based learning, and it's worth really looking into these and what they entail, because for some of them you expect to do a lot of self-directed learning. Is that a style that's going to suit you? Okay, so number 3 is the entrance exams required by that university. Unfortunately, the BMAT has been stopped, which I discussed in a separate video. Most universities in the UK use the UCAT anyway. The advantage of the UCAT is that you will know your score before you have to apply. And going back to our first point, that means you will know the cut-off UCAT scores from the previous years and try and get an idea of where you would fall. And depending on how it all goes for that exam, I think there are 2 medical schools in the UK that still don't use an aptitude test: Buckingham Medical School and Central Lancashire Medical School. I don't know if there's going to be another test to replace the BMAT, or whether these other universities like Cambridge University will just adopt the UCAT. It remains to be seen. And that leads us straight into point number 4, which is looking at previous trends. So look at all the grade cutoffs, all the aptitude test cutoffs, any information you can find on previous admissions processes. It's worth looking into. I know it sounds like a lot, but given you only have 4 choices for medical schools, it's worth doing everything you can to maximize your chances of getting in. Okay, so lastly, point number 5 is the interview process. So we're sticking with this theme of optimizing your chances of getting in. So for Oxbridge interviews, they're going to be quite academic with scientific questions, or you're looking more at a panel interview, which is what a lot of medical schools do. And you can expect questions about yourself, your suitability to medicine, medical ethics, that sort of thing. Personally, when I was applying to medical school, I wanted to avoid MMIs or multiple mini interviews at all costs. Back then, I don't think I would have been able to showcase myself in that type of setting. Another bonus point to consider is intercalation. So for example, at Cambridge University, everyone does the 6-year course, which means when you come out at the end, you have your medical degree, but you also have a BA in a different subject that you choose. So you have effectively 2 degrees. And for some universities, there's no intercalation at all. And for some, it's a competitive process because there's limited numbers of people who can do an extra intercalation year. And of course, after sending off your application to medical school, the next thing to consider is the interview process. I've made a few videos on this channel about the medicine interviews, and I'll leave them linked here and down in the description below. Thanks for watching.